Ladies and gentlemen, Zombies Chronicles 2! It's closer than you think. I can't even believe it. It's gonna be a wild time when it finally comes, and it's gonna be coming into Cold War. I totally don't know that, but we're gonna talk about it, dude. There has been a lot of new stuff that has even been discovered with the inclusion of the Outbreak Easter egg, man. I don't know what the heck that is, but hey, we gotta try it out. We gotta see how it goes. But listen, they find in the buried endgame music while they're fishing. Okay, and they're also finding the transit lava sound effects in the pond area on D Machine. Okay, you can't tell me that this is a coincidence, and you're telling me that they got radios playing the Die Rise endgame music? Oh, hell no, I can't have that, okay? The Die Rise endgame music, if I ever see that map come into Cold War, I don't even want to know. But hey, we got stand up, we got no fall damage, maybe it'll be alright. It's gonna be a fun time, and these sound effects are absolutely crazy because it indicates that the last 3 maps that are yet to be remastered in any Call of Duty Zombies game, Transit Buried and Die Rise, will be coming in next, and I cannot believe that. We know that Zombies Chronicles 2 was scheduled for Black Ops 4. I've made multiple videos, I've talked about it, but now it has been transported or ported over onto Cold War, and that makes me really excited, man. Back with the first Zombies Chronicles, there were so many trailers, there was so much hype around it. The event was awesome with all the YouTube guys coming in together at Treyarch and recording. The community was absolutely on fire. Everything was active. All the maps were fun. All of them were replayable. And the greatest part about the maps themselves is that they were refreshing. They weren't necessarily carbon copy pastes. They were actually the map with more and more love put into them, in my opinion. They added a bunch of new Easter eggs. They added a bunch of new different types of weapons while even still bringing back the old weapons. And I think that's just absolutely amazing. I think, though, that between Zombies Chronicles 1 and 2, there will be one major difference with this experience. And that, in my opinion, is dedicated Easter eggs. And let's talk about this because there's only 3 maps compared to the gargantuan 8 that were brought back in Zombies Chronicles 1. I don't know why they wouldn't add a different type of Easter egg. Now, there's 2 possibilities with it. They could either remaster the original Easter eggs that were put into those maps, and most of them are co-op. Like Transit, you can do it solo through a glitch, but I think for this, they would probably either make it 2 to 4 players. Die Rise, I think you need 4 players, and also with Buried, you need 4 players as well. So, are they gonna make the Easter eggs different? Are they gonna change it up? Are they gonna include it in with the Kravchenko storyline that's going on with Outbreak and Firebase Z right now? It's a lot of uncertainty, but I think that it would make the most amount of sense for the Easter eggs to change, because when you think about it, Transit, Die Rise, and Buried, their Easter eggs were about the Victus crew, and that was a whole other storyline so many years ago, man. It's probably been like a decade at this point, man, I'll tell you. But now they have to remake this storyline with the lens of Black Ops 1. We know that they've had all these maps done for a long time in Black Ops 4, obviously with Blackout and all of that, but to see them come out with a new type of Easter egg, and also, in my opinion, I think they could also come out to Outbreak as separate maps, and you can play them on a free roam mode. I think that would be a lot of fun. I know it's not anything new, and it's unoriginal to the community, but isn't it strange that I'm more excited for these maps coming back than anything Cold War has to offer in terms of round-based maps? I am for sure about that, okay? And I just wonder where we would go from here, because listen, after Zombies Chronicles 2, you can't really make a Zombies Chronicles 3. There's no more maps to be brought back to crystal clear resolution that we have with the original Zombies Chronicles. Now, it is very interesting to think about this because some people do think that Origins, Mob of the Dead, and Call of the Dead could even return. Now, I don't know if this would even be an option, considering, like, hey, I know some people also think that non-Treyarch maps could make a Zombies Chronicles 3, but boy, you are reaching too far into that barrel, dude. I cannot tell you. But listen, I don't think Origins will make a return simply due to the fact that, in my opinion, it looks better on Zombies Chronicles than what Black Ops Cold War even looks like, so I don't know why they would do that. Call of the Dead, I don't know why they would also bring that back, considering Togger Toten happened in Black Ops 4, and that was a massive thing. But Mob of the Dead is an interesting one, because Black Ops 4's Mob of the Dead, or Blood of the Dead, was not my favorite map. It was probably one of my least favorite maps ever, and I know a lot of you share that same sentiment with me. But Blood of the Dead was geared towards the Black Ops 4 mechanics, and I don't think that if Mob of the Dead were to be brought back, it would be anything like Blood of the Dead. Rather, it would be a carbon copy of Mob of the Dead with operators, which, again, it's not the original 4 on Mob of the Dead and their crew, and they actually have amazing chemistry. This would be a little bit different, but I think I would really enjoy it. Why would they do this? Honestly, I have no idea. I'm not totally sure why they would go back and rehash Mob of the Dead and Call of the Dead, especially, and Origins. My God, let's just leave Origins for a second, boys. Let's just not talk about Origins. It'll be interesting to see what they actually do, but 3 maps instead of 8. I hope it's just not overpriced. I hope it's free, or maybe if we do have to pay for it, it has to be like less than half of what the original Zombies Chronicles was, because man, I don't know what they're going to be doing. But listen, this is a little bit interesting as well. There's a lot of these maps already being ported on Cold War, but a lot of custom mappers have already made or are making these maps in the future. People have made, Vertical is working on Transit and Die Rise right now, and also Mob of the Dead has been remastered on BO3 for quite some time now, but I don't think that it is as perfect as the one in Black Ops 2. There's a lot of bugs, there's a lot of glitches. It's still incredible. I definitely played over Blood of the Dead, but I don't know. There's also been little remasters for Transit and Die Rise on the Black Ops 3 workshop. But again, like I said, Verco is making the full thing, and he's not making Buried, because how do you program Leroy? Like, literally, how would you do that? I want my boy to come back in Cold War. I want to shoot him. I want to knife him. I want to see him again. That would be very fun, dude. It's kind of funny because when the first Zombies Chronicles released, it is interesting to note that there were a lot of people remaking maps that were coming up for the original Zombies Chronicles, and they just look so much better on Chronicles. However, I think with Zombies Chronicles 2, we might actually see a little bit of a sway with that, because I think Verco is creating Transit and Die Rise for the community. So it's not going to have lava, it's going to have water, it's not going to have denizens, you know, it's going to be more fun to play. Whereas Treyarch might want to carbon copy it this time around rather than change it for the hope of nostalgia to grab the market. So it's a little bit interesting to see what they're going to go for there. I'm glad that Cold War is focusing on the game mode innovations more so than the maps right now. I think that's cool what they're doing with Outbreak. However, I don't want devs to waste their time anymore, man. I don't want them to go and make modes that people aren't going to play. Whereas, like, man, we are asking for Grief, we are asking for Gun Game, we're asking for Last Man Standing. All these games have already been made that the community loves. Treyarch literally just has to place them in at this point. I don't understand what it is that is causing so much of a problem with that, but I know Treyarch has had a lot of problems listening to the community this time around, which is why, in my opinion, the custom mappers might take this one home for the community. But ladies and gentlemen, that is Zombies Chronicles 2. If I were to put a release date on it, man, I'd say probably either late 2021 or maybe even mid 2022. We got a long ways to go, in my opinion, unless they just drop it out of nowhere like they did the first one. We'll have to see. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see ya in that next one.